because we are going to bring you details of a very, very, can I call it a very sordid tale, a twisted tale, or is it, should I have said sordid story? Sordid story, twisted tale, or just a spurious allegation? Is it just an allegation?
Well, to the extent that these are matters to be determined by a court of law, there are allegations made by one individual and an institution against one individual and 12 institutions. So this essentially is what we are dealing with. The individual who has brought this matter before court is Ni Amano Dudu, the receiver of Beige Bank. And so he's bringing a suit together with Beige Bank. These are the two plaintiffs who are bringing this matter against Michael Nyinaku. Michael Nyinaku is the founder, promoter, chief director, everything of Beige Bank, and 12 former owner of Beige Bank and 12 other companies. Now, this is a 56-page document that has been brought to court detailing all the allegations against Michael Nyinaku and these companies and what they have done. What we are seeking to do this morning is to pick each of these companies, what the person, the first defendant, which is Michael Nyinaku here, and what he has done with each of these companies. And what the rate has done is to detail each one of them. So the defendant, the first defendant, which is Michael Nyinaku, and each company, the transactions that happened, which they are impugning, were not proper in accordance with law, and the monies that were taken, and the fact that those monies were not paid, and the fact that the court must order him to pay these monies back to Beige Bank, because all of the money was taken from Beige Bank. The reliefs they are seeking are 13.
13 of them?
Absolutely. 13 reliefs are being sought.
And in summary, what do they want?
So, first of all, the liability, let's take the liability of Michael Nyinaku and the second defendant. And the second defendant here is Legacy Pension Trust. Now, according to this case, they said by a document dated 28th October 2016, and this document was titled Loan Disbursement Advice, Michael Nyinaku instructed and supervised the execution of what purported to be a loan disbursement advice, and to advance a loan of 2 million from Beige Bank to Legacy Pension Trust. By the same date, that's the same October 28th, by an email, Michael Nyinaku approved the advancement of 2 million loan to Legacy Pension Trust. So there was a requirement for a request for a loan. The loan was approved and was disbursed the same day, 28th October 2016. And it was all approved by Michael Nyinaku, who was owner of Beige Bank at the time. And this money was for the benefit of Legacy Pension Trust, which is a company in which he also has controlling stake. Now, by a transaction again dated on November 18, 2016, the same year, and this was described Legacy Pension Trust Limited. The second plaintiff here, that's Beige Bank, ledger indicated that Michael Nyinaku instructed and supervised the advancement of 1.5 million again to the same Legacy Pension Trust. This was in November, the same 2016. Now, by an email dated February 6, 2017, an application for 4 million Ghana cedis by the same Legacy Pension Trust was made. Again, Michael Nyinaku, according to the case before court, approved the advancement of this second loan, this time 4 million. Now, check the date. So, 18th November, 1.5 million. 6th February, 4 million. And all of that went to Legacy Pension Trust. And they were all approved by Michael Nyinaku. Now, 3rd March, again, another loan application. This time around, guess how much? 10 million. Michael Nyinaku approved this advance of a third loan, this time 10 million, for, again, Legacy Pension Trust. The case before court is that Legacy Pension Trust failed to pay this amount of money back to Beige Bank, because all of the amount was taken from Beige Bank, and the total amount here involved is 17,500,000. That's 17.5 million. That's the amounts that were disbursed, advanced in various sums or at different dates and times to Legacy Pension Trust, all approved by Michael Nyineku. And according to the case in court, none of the amount was paid back to the bank because all of the money was taken from the bank. Now, there's a third one. This third one is Blue Limited. They say an email dated November 22nd, 2016. Through this email, 2 million Ghana cedis was advanced to the third defendant, and third defendant here is Blue Limited. The same date, 22nd November 2016, another 4.5 million was approved, supervised, instructed, and advanced to Blue Limited. The same date. So 22nd November, 2 million, 4.5 million, both approved and endorsed by Michael Nyineku, who is the first defendant, for the benefit of Blue Limited. By an email on 24th November, 2 days later. So check the date. The same 22nd, the first amount was 2 million.
Okay.
Then 22nd again, the same 22nd, 4.5. 2 days later, 24th November, another amount of 5.5 was also sent to Blue Limited.
The same company.
The same company. On all these, amount was approved and advanced to advanced by the first defendant, Michael Nyineku, and for the benefit of Blue Limited. They say by yet another email dated February 5th, 2017, 10 million was also disbursed to Blue Limited. And Blue Limited did not pay any of these amounts, according to the case, back to Beige Bank. All this amount, and the total amount here involved is 22 million Ghana cedis that was disbursed between November 2016 and January 2017.
And Blue Limited belongs to Nyineku?
Yes, and Blue Limited belongs to him. And Blue Limited didn't pay, according to the Niamano Dudi and Beige Bank's case before court, didn't pay any money back to Beige Bank. This is one of the cases they are bringing, and the total sum is 22 million, and they are asking that this money should be retrieved by the bank, that the court should order that this money should be paid back to the Beige Bank, which Niamano Dudu is the receiver.
Okay.
Now, the other leg of the case they have is one which involved the Pill Point Pharmacy. Now, the case is that by an email dated 23rd December 2016, and you will notice that for all the three cases we are dealing with, all of the transactions happened between the latter part of 2016 and early part of 2017.
Yes.
Now, in the case involving Pill Point, by an email dated 23rd December 2016, an amount, and the title for this one is Trade Finance Loan Approval, Pill Point Pharmacy. Michael Nyineku approved the advancement of a loan of 7.5 million Ghana cedis from Beige Bank to Pill Point Pharmacy. By another email dated 31st January 2017. So the first one was 23rd December, the second one was 31st January 2017. And also, this is also titled Trade Finance Loan Approval, Pill Point Pharmacy. Again, Michael Nyineku approved the advancement of a second loan, this time 6 million. The first amount was 7.5, this time 6 million, from Beige Bank. Then the amount was disbursed to Pill Point Pharmacy. By another email, this time February 21st, 2017, trade finance approval again, an amount of 5 million was also disbursed from Beige Bank to Pill Point. Now, Pill Point has not paid, according to the case, any money from these loans that have been advanced to it back to Beige Bank.
And this is the same Pill Points Pharmacy that we know here in Accra.
Yes. It's the same Pale Point we have seen in Accra. The total amount that was disbursed to Pale Point under this loan agreement was 18.5 million.
18.5 million.
Yes.
From the end of 2016 to the early part of 2017.
Early part of 2017. Because this one, the first one was 22nd December actually. 22nd December. So between 22nd December and February 21st, 2017, 18.5 million was disbursed to Pale Point Pharmacy. And this is the amount that the receiver is saying was not paid. Now they are trying to recover this 18.5 million from Pale Point together with the interest that would have accrued between the time that the money was disbursed.
I'm just curious to know what they use the money for that they can't pay back.
It's a business. They are expanding. Now,
yeah, but you should be able to invest it in a way that you can pay back.
There was another case involving Walnut. This one, by transaction dated, this now goes back to back past 2016. This one was 2015.
Okay.
January 25th, 2015. Michael Nyeneku approved an advancement of 4.5 million to Walnut Limited. 4.5 million to Walnut Limited. Then on April 7, 2015, again he approved an advancement of a second loan, this time 1 million Ghana cedis again to Walnut. Then another transaction, May 2015, he approved another, he supervised, instructed and supervised another advancement of 2.237 million again to Walnut. By an email 30th July, again he approved another amount of 2 million again for Walnut. That didn't end there. 23rd September 2015, another amount of 1.241 was approved again for Walnut. A document purports to be a loan disbursement advice, also dated 23rd September. The defendant, Michael Nyeneku here, instructed and supervised an advancement of a fourth loan to Walnut. Walnut has not paid any of this amount, and the amount here involved is 10.978 million Ghana cedis.
So Malik, help me understand this. In one day or in 2 days, we can sign as many as like 4 or 5 different loans.
Yeah.
Of about, because if you look at it, this is 22nd December, 23rd December, the same day that the Pale Points Pharmacy documents were being signed.
Absolutely.
So in one day, we just sign
different loans at different,
And so you wake up in the morning and you sign away like 15 million Ghana cedis.
Because they are alone. They are supposed to pay back. There is nothing. Ordinarily, there wouldn't be any problem with that because the banks exist to give loans and, of course, to recover the loans with accrued interest as well. So ordinarily, there wouldn't be any problem with the bank signing multiple loans on the same date to different companies.
We'll go to Dr. Daniel Sedo to give us some analysis on this, but I can tell you that it doesn't look right for you to give a loan to a company that you own. And did he get the proper board approval for those loans? Well, that's the question.
Those are some of the issues that when we go into the breaches that they accuse him of and some of the companies of, we will see. But there was another case against Beige Assurance Limited. This is the 6th defendant. And the Beige Assurance, they said by an email dated 3rd November, note, and you mentioned November, you said that a lot of the issues were November 2016. This 3rd November 2016, there was 2 million which was advanced to this company, and this company is Beige Assurance. 2 million advanced to them on 3rd November. Then another email, 14th March 2017, another amount of 5 million was sent to Beige Assurance as well. And then the defendants failed to pay. The amount here involved is 7 million. The defendants have not paid any of that. So all of the defendants, and let me just give you some of who the defendants are. There's Access Control Limited, there's Beige Village, there's Beige Group Limited, BBS Logistics, BBS Trucks, Babel Company, Beige Capital Management, Pale Point, I've mentioned that, Blue Limited, Legacy Pension Trust, Walnut, Beige Assurance, all of these. So these are the 12 companies that all obtained loans from Beige Bank that the receiver says were not paid back. All loans were approved by Michael Nyeneku, who had controlling stake, according to the case, in all these 12 companies, and of also Beige Bank, the second plaintiff that brought this case. All of these loans were approved by them for 12 companies, and the case is they claim that all of these loans were not paid.
And it amounts to 1.4 billion Ghana cedis.
Absolutely, that's the total amount involved here that they have brought in court.
Interesting case here that we are unwrapping today. Adwa Sarah is in Stadium Kumasi. She says, listening to this Beige Bank court case, in fact, Ghana is an interesting country. We take the Joy Business Minutes now. When we come back, we finish off with the rest of the revelations that are in there, in those beige documents, after which we speak to Dr. Daniel Sedo. He will be telling us what went wrong, where was the regulator, and what can we do to avert such a situation. And whilst we try and answer those questions, Iyoko has submitted a docket to the Attorney General's Department for months. That's the latest we have on the criminal aspect of this case. Why haven't we seen any prosecutions begin? We try and get those answers when we come back. Stay with us.
It's the Joy Business Minute and Daryl is back.
Yay, Karen!
Economist Professor Peter Cortex blaming the country's high debt ratio on its inability to raise revenue internally. Ghana's debt has become a major concern.
The Vehicle and Asset Dealers Association of Ghana is demanding a total scrap of the luxury vehicle tax. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta last week during a media interaction hinted of plans to amend the tax during the media budget review.
The single currency for the West African region, the ECO, would be in circulation from next year. That if any of the English-speaking countries in the region is able to meet all the basic criteria for issuing the currency.
And new electric vehicles will have to feature a noise-emitting device under an EU rule coming into force on Monday. It follows concerns that low-emission cars and vans are too quiet, putting pedestrians at risk because they cannot be heard as they approach.
Well, that makes sense.
Sure does.
Your office they shine, oh.
Yes, so I tell you, say for proper and modern ceiling solutions, the answer be Interface Limited. Them get in stock acoustic ceilings where you go fit make your office fine like my own.
Or even better pass your own self.
We can better pass my own.
Shall I go Interface right now?
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at www.interfacelimited.com.
Let's go,
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
The MPS Terminal 3 is an ultra-modern container terminal fitted with the most advanced gantry cranes in the world and terminal operating systems. The terminal has automated its processes for entry and exiting the port, including gate operating systems, truck appointment systems with biometric access control for drivers, and license plate recognition for vehicles. All truck drivers who pick up or drop containers at the port must register to use the new port systems. The registration is free. You will need a valid driver's license and DVLA sticker. Registration is taking place at MPS Terminal 3 GPHA. You can also find our mobile registration van within the Tema Metropolis or call to get the location on 055-970-4824. Registration times are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mondays to Saturdays at MPS Terminal 3 and 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the mobile registration van. Register now before the new port opens on 28th June. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
May the odds be in your favor this soccer season for some cool chop from media. This no be bet and hopo. It be definite win. No kululu. Starting from 1,599 Ghana cedis, buy any media AC and get a free fan. Buy a double door fridge for 749 Ghana cedis, chill your drinks and keep your food fresh. And in addition, get a free blender. Cooking just got better with just 649 Ghana cedis for a gas cooker and a free toaster plus so much more. My sister, my brother, the odds are definitely in your favor with Media Soccer promo, affordable prices, and so many gifts. Umpeoya, forget BBR. Visit our showrooms and authorized resellers across Ghana.
A great journey lies ahead of us all, but we all have different paths carved out for us. When choosing your path, make sure you choose a partner you can trust, a partner with integrity who will always stand with you and give you the support you need when you need it. No matter who you are and where you are in your journey in life, you are very significant and so is the path you're on. Consolidated Bank Ghana cherishes financial security as much as you do and shares the same values as you, and that is why we are the right financial partner to stand with you. We are now one of the largest banks in Ghana and we are ready to partner and work with you. CBG, we stand with you.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show.
Media messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and Telecel 4G Just a Touch. Now, the Total AFCON is on, and EcoBank and Visa are bringing you loads of excitement this season. Win an all-expense-paid trip to Cairo to watch the game or give your son or daughter a lifetime opportunity to escort sporting heroes to the pitch. Get your card game on by using your EcoBank Visa card to make payments on POS terminals and online every time and win. It's that simple. Up your game on payments by using your EcoBank Visa prepaid debit or credit card and stand a chance to go to Egypt. Be among the thousands of participants who walk away with free DSTV installations, Visa prepaid cards loaded with cash, premium Visa souvenirs, data, and more. Go on, use your Visa cards to pay for shopping, fuel, dining, saloon visits, and more. Pay securely with your EcoBank Visa card on your POS terminals and online. Game on. This Total AFCON season brought to you by Visa in partnership with EcoBank, supported by DSTV and the Gaming Commission of Ghana. EcoBank is a Pan-African bank.
No matter what the CEO them must.
Now, GCB offers salaried workers with their salary accounts at GCB personal loans within 24 hours. GCB makes life easy for its customers, so let GCB lend you the needed support for those urgent personal needs. Go to any of our 180 branches nationwide or call 0800 422 422 for a GCB 24-hour personal loan now and see that dream come true. GCB, your bank for life.
President they cry and nurses they cry.
Back to the conversation we are having, Malik, and very, very interesting revelations that we've had so far. A number of loans being signed in a matter of days to different companies. The only thing they have in common is they're owned by the same person, Michael Nyineku. What more do we know?
So now, you know that usually when these matters come, and one would have asked the question, why is he being sued? Because the lawyers often tell us that because a company usually has what the lawyers call separate legal personality, the directors of a company are shielded from the transactions of the company, so that if the company were to engage in some illegal conduct or were to run into any legal problems, you sue the company in its person, because the company has a person, because the company can sue and the company can be sued. Why is the director now being sued? The lawyers usually argue that directors have what the lawyers call fiduciary obligations to their companies, and these fiduciary obligations require that directors must act in good faith. They must act in the best interest of their companies. They must not put themselves in conflict of interest situations. And where the directors are found to have made secret profits in violation of their fiduciary obligations, they have a duty to account for those profits and to surrender them. Again, where certain conditions prevail, it is allowed that they pierce what they call the corporate veil. Yeah. That is, i.e., go beyond the company's separate legal personality and see who are the directors and what roles did they play. It is the presence of those circumstances that make this case interesting, that they've gone beyond the corporate veil and they are bringing in the director and suing him directly and severally, jointly and severally with the other companies that were beneficiaries of the loans that were taken from Beige Bank for their transactions, which they didn't pay back. Now, the first issue they raised in this rate against Mr. Michael Nyineku is that he caused serious losses to Beige Bank by reason of his actions as a director in breach of his fiduciary and other duties. And I just explained to you what fiduciary duties are. The responsibility or the duty to act in good faith and in the best interest of the company and not exceeding the company's powers. Okay. If any director exceeds the company's powers, the person is held to have breached the person's fiduciary duty to the company as a director.
Okay.
Now, so they are saying that by reason of his actions as a director, he acted in breach of his fiduciary duties and other duties to Beige Bank. And these are the particulars of this breach. That he, hiding behind the corporate veil of Beige Bank and all of the other defendants, illegally gained access to and siphoned money from Beige Bank for his personal benefit and other uses.
Illegal access and siphoning.
Absolutely.
That means he's basically just transferred the money.
That's what they claim. And that there was a failure to exercise due diligence. Note, when I mentioned the fiduciary obligations and duties of a director, that the director must act in good faith and in the best interest of the company. The case against Mr. Nyineku here is that he failed to exercise due diligence in authorizing and approving the loans and other advancements too, and for the benefit of all the defendants I listed to you earlier. And for the avoidance of doubt, these are Legacy Pension Trust, Blue Limited, Pale Point Pharmacy, Walnut Limited, Beige Assurance, Access Control Security Limited, Beige Village Limited, Beige Group, BBS Logistics, BBS Trucks, Babel Company, and Beige Capital Asset.
Okay.
These are the companies that they say he failed to exercise due diligence in authorizing loans from Beige, loans and other advancements from Beige Bank to these companies, and companies in which he has a controlling stake. Again, they say there was conflict of duty and conflict of interest towards the second plaintiff, which is Beige Bank, in failing or refusing or neglecting to dissolve his interest in Beige Bank to all of these other companies that I mentioned.
Okay.
Again, when I was telling you what the duties, the fiduciary duties are, I said that the person must avoid any conflict of interest. Directors are enjoined by their fiduciary duty to avoid conflict of interest. Here, Michael Nyineku is being accused or cited for conflict of interest and of duty in relation to his position in Beige Bank, which had the money, and from which he approved advancements and loans to the other companies of which he also had controlling stake. They say there was a failure to exercise utmost good faith. Again, the duties I mentioned, utmost good faith towards Beige Bank by not reporting to the Bank of Ghana and obtaining approval for the loans that were granted. So good faith here, failure to act faithfully and diligently, and careful director in transacting all of these businesses. They say they accuse him of causing significant losses to Beige Bank by and through these actions. So these are some of the issues there is. They say he knowingly and deliberately committed the breaches of the Ghanaian banking and company laws as a chief executive of Beige Bank. And he engaged in and approved of transactions and advancement involving all of the 12 defendants without obtaining requisite security, obtaining bank credit committee approval, obtaining corporate approval, stamping or registration, disclosing his interest in the transaction, reporting to the Bank of Ghana, or obtaining approval as the case may be, and securing the approval of the board of directors. Earlier you were asking whether there were approval for the from the board of directors. The case by the two plaintiffs, Beige Bank and Ni Amano-Dodu, who is a receiver, is that the first defendant didn't obtain board approval from all of this. They say the defendants benefited from the impugned transaction and also acquired the following process. So they've listed a number of properties that were acquired through all of these loans and all of the transactions that have happened. And they said they are beneficiaries of loans that they took from Beige Bank and did not pay back. That's why they want the court to order all of these loans to be paid back to the bank, so that the bank can disburse its own liabilities as well. So Daniel, these are the issues contained in it. It's as I said, it's a 56-page read containing very weighty matters as well. In my own conversations with people, they said that my information is that he actually gave the receiver a payment plan to pay back some of these monies, and because the monies were invested in companies whose companies are self-functioning, by the way, and we know Pale Point Pharmacy, all of these companies are self-functioning. It's only Beige Bank that was affected. Of course, there will be some effect, but the rest of the companies which were beneficiaries of these loans and other advancements are still in operation, and there was a payment plan to pay. The receiver is of the view that the payment plan is too long, and so they don't have sufficient belief that the payment plan works. That's the reason why they've gone to court, to try and get the court to force the payment of these monies in good time.
give out loans to such big companies? Was it the bailouts from the BOG? Because the money involved is huge. Ajwa Amwa from Kumasi. 0244340437. Unfortunately, we were unable to have that conversation with Dr. Daniel Sedo on this subject to get some more details of that. But it's still a story that we have our eyes on, and we'll be bringing you those details in later bulletins and other editions of the Super Morning Show. It's 20 minutes past 9. I Want Your Wife shows at the National Theatre on the 6th, the 7th, the 13th, and the 14th of July at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. daily. That's this weekend. Tickets are available at Joy FM, Sunny FM, Bachona, and Hachu Total, Motorway Supermarkets, Shell Shops at Airport, Dansoman, Sakaman, East Legon, Achimota, and Tema Community 11, and a number of others. You can just WhatsApp 050-554-6030 for details, inquiries, and deliveries. I Want Your Wife. Terms and conditions apply. Roverman Productions, be the difference. Now it's that time of the year again. Panafest 2019 is here, and this year's edition coincides with the year of return, marking 400 years since the first enslaved Africans arrived in the United States. From 24th July to 3rd August in Cape Coast, this momentous event will be marked with a series of culturally relevant activities and events. These include a Grand Derby, Emancipation Day, Trade Expo, keynote panel sessions, musical concerts, art expositions, and many more. To be sure to participate or partake from the 24th of July to the 3rd of August and mark this major historical landmark of the African family, both home and abroad. Panafest 2019, beyond 400 years, reaching across continents into the future. Football season is here again, and Melcom, your number one shopping destination, is here with the Gold Electronics Festival. Make this football season a memorable one. Discounts on all television sets at affordable prices in all Melcom shops nationwide. Melcom Gold Electronics Festival, largest range, best prices. Melcom. Minutes past 9 here on your Super Morning Show. Before we take the break and move to the latest with the University of Education Winneba saga and the arrest of some 2 journalists last week, Malik, you were mentioning that there were some 13 reliefs, but give us just a few of them.
Yeah, so the key ones, they are seeking a declaration that Michael Nyineku has breached his duties as a director of Beige Bank and is liable for all the losses to Beige Bank occasioned by those breaches. They also want a declaration that the various transactions described in the statement of claim, some of which I brought to you, between the second plaintiff, that's Beige Bank, and the defendants are unlawful. Those transactions, on account of all of the things I listed, there was no approval from board, no report to the Bank of Ghana, all of those things, that because of those things, that the transactions were unlawful. They want an order for Michael Nyineku to account and refund to the plaintiffs, Niamano Dodu and Beige Bank, any profits resulting from the property transactions with or through all the 12 defendants, and for further other order rescinding all the other transactions entered into between Beige Bank and these defendants. Again, when we were doing the analysis, I told you about the obligation to declare any secret profits that have been made.
Yeah.
They are asking the court to order Michael Nyineku to declare all of these. They also want orders for the recovery jointly and severally against the defendants. The following sums: 17 million, 22 million, 18 million, 10.978, 7 million, 29 million, 10 million, 575 million, 46 million, 11 million, 19 million, 597 million. All of these. So what has happened is that they pick him and each defendant, and the amount of money they are supposed to recover.
Okay.
Each defendant, the amount of money they are supposed to recover. That's what they have done. So that's the order they want the court to give them. That the first defendant, Michael Nyinaku here, and each of these defendants, they should be ordered to recover these amounts. Of course, they also want an order for the recovery of some 17 million, which they said was unlawfully transferred and recorded in the shareholders' ledger as well. So 13 of them, very many of them we know, and many of them we have published on Major Online as well, detailing all of the things that the courts want recovered. As I point out, these are matters before the court. The plaintiffs will adduce their evidence. Michael Nyinaku will come with his defense. He will come with his attorneys, and then they will make a determination whether the claims as contained in this writ were backed by evidence and whether they are watertight. And of course, they will weigh that against the explanations that Michael Nyinaku will provide for the reason why he entered into these transactions and where the money is. So at this point, no persons are guilty yet. It's a matter before a court of law, and the court will determine on whose side the scales tilt. Note that this is a civil matter, it's not a criminal matter, that the evidence that both sides will give will be weighed on a scale, and the lawyers will say on a balance of probability. And on whose side is the evidence weightier?
I mean, who sounds more convincing?
Absolutely. Who has evidence to back what they have done?
All right, Malik, thank you very much for taking us through these details carefully and, of course, helping us understand what the context of the entire discussion is about and the court case itself. So we are going to transition smoothly from this story and go to another case that ended up in court at a point, the UEW impasse. Now, this has taken on a life of its own because last week, 2 journalists were picked up by national security operatives from their office at modernghana.com over an article. How criminal could an article be? What's next after that? And who wrote that article and what is in it? We'll find out when we come back. Stay with us.
At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have